Hi everybody, I hope you all can hear me properly. Just see if there's anybody about, just chatting away. I'm 139 phone guys, that's super, eh? So, hopefully there'll be some people drop in. Hi Jenny, how are you? Can you hear me properly? I don't know if this headset's working properly, it's a bit temperamental. How you doing anyways? Hi, how are you? What time is it where you are? Is it first thing in the morning? Is it later on in the day? It's only 6:30 AM here. Hi Fofa Dobabara, I think I said that name properly. I've been up all night. I've been busy playing this PlayStation VR that I got. I'm immersed in it. It's all night long playing VR games on the PlayStation. It's totally amazing. It's next level stuff to say the least. But I've got a thumping headache right now because you don't realise that the VR thing is. See, when you're inside it, when you play it for too long, you actually feel sick and things like that. Hi Sandcat, nice to see you. Oh, it's 4:33 PM there, is it? Jesus, that's 10. You're about 10 hours of difference, roughly, yeah. Yeah, oh VR, I've been on it all night. It's unbelievable. You wouldn't have seen it. I must have played it for about 10 hours last night, all different games. The Batman game, you're in like Gotham City and things like that, and you actually feel as if you're Batman, you're moving all your hands about, and I got to the point I actually felt sick. Because the VR seems to do that to you. If you're on it for a long length of time, you start to actually feel as if you're going to be sick and things like that. Oh, hi Mac Vegan, how are you? It's nice to see you again. Hope everything's been well with you and the family and things. Oh, it definitely is. It's brilliant. They've even got ones where you've got like animals and things like that, where you can rear up your cat or your dog and everything, or a micro pig or anything like that, basically from birth right up to when they're older and things like that. My wife was wanting to play that, but I don't know. Oh yeah, I remember Jezzika saying about the daylight savings that you'd been kind of an hour later. And I've not tried any of the horror games. I've seen that Blood and something it's called. It's basically like you're inside a kind of circus and it's got like all the horror things popping out at you and things like that. Hi Vegan Sister, nice to see you. If anybody wants to guest on, just let me know and you can guest on as well, because I think Jezzika was going to guest, but if anybody wants to jump on as well, let me know. Hi Jezzika, you want to guest? I'll guest in if you want in. Anybody else who wants to join in the queue after Jezzika comes on as well, you are more than welcome. It's nice to see you, Vegan Sister, as well.
You're looking for.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
That's good. Trying to set myself up here. Hi, Sandcat. Hi, Jenny.
I've just been saying I've been up all night at PlayStation VR. It's about 10 hours. I only slept all night.
What's that? 10 hours?
The PlayStation virtual reality. I've been playing that all night long.
Tommy.
Sitting with the headset on, I had to stop for about an hour or two because I started to feel sick. Seemingly when you do that with the virtual reality, because you feel as if you're in the actual thing itself. Feeling as if I was going to spew my ring.
I remember I played The Sims for like 8 hours straight one day, and I had like all bloodshot eyes, and that wasn't virtual reality, so like. Well,
I was playing like the Olympics, like the luge things, where you're in the bobsleigh and things like that, and you feel as if you're turning the corner. I was actually feeling as if I was going to be sick and things.
Oh wow. Jenny said horror's her favourite, like killing zombies and stuff like that. I get
Oh
scared
yeah,
of those. I scream. I'm such a baby.
I see Mr. and Misbehave. They've got a month-long horror thing that they're doing on their YouTube channel. It looks absolutely amazing.
Oh, really? What are they doing? Like,
basically, it's like they're doing like graveyard things and that, making up like it's kind of like horror stories and things they're doing. It's amazing.
oh wow. Oh, that's cool. Do you do much for Halloween in Scotland? Like, is it a tradition?
That's what I was going to say. When I was younger, it was really massive. I remember my mum and dad used to make costumes, and we used to go around all the street that I lived on, and everybody would have stuff in for you, and you obviously had to go in and sing a song or tell a joke and things. But see, nowadays it just doesn't seem to be like that anymore. You hardly see any kids out at all.
Oh, really?
But seemingly it's quite big in America and that still, and obviously I remember my family in Australia saying it was still big over there and that, so I don't know if it's really just here.
Well, we never really did anything, but I think now because Australia is so influenced by America, like they're making, like it's getting bigger every year. Like we don't really get door knockers, but they still do things like last year one of the shopping centres did trick-or-treating for the kids, so it was like a safe way to get the candy and stuff. So it's getting bigger. Like there's already Halloween things in the stores here, so I mean it's not only a few weeks away, but still, yeah. Like we went into Target the other day, and he's like, "What's this shit? What's this shit?" 'Cause he thinks it's ridiculous how we copy the Americans. He's like, "This is bullshit." He's going like, yeah, it was like angry.
It seems to be even, see when you get past Halloween, you just get into Christmas and they're starting to bring in things like Easter eggs into the shops and all that already. That's the way they do it all the time. I think it's to try and get all the kind of kids kind of nagging their mums and dads for it and get that in right away.
It's like, you've got like Christmas and New Year's and then Valentine's Day and Easter. Like we get hot cross buns literally on New Year's Day. They're already starting.
We're the same,
People have seen them straight away, and it's like, what? Give us a chance to pay our credit card bills and stuff like that.
I know. Oh, nice to see you, Hitler girl. I hope you're well as well. I was see when we were talking about the vegan songs. Somebody just posted up a new one. This girl that I've got on YouTube. It's the what's her channel's name? The Dippy Hippie, her name's called. She's posted up this song. Wait, I'll play it. It's amazing. This is the lyrics. She's just made it. We are one. We are all the same. Pigs, cows, people, they're all just names. No being is more important than torn from its mother. Slaughtered and abused, they have no choice. They cannot speak cause they have no voice. We gotta stand up for all the animals' plight, cause torture and murder ain't man's best right. If you feel you truly care how the animals feel, choose to eat vegan after every meal.
That's good.
Sounds amazing.
Make that up?
Animals don't belong to us to do with their rights. We have no right to wear their skin or ogles are right. The Ponzi's on horsebacks. Well, it's gone too fast, but I'll message it. It sounds amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, because I'm not joking. Michael said I'm not allowed to do another music collab because for 2 weeks I've been singing Grease because it's like I was practicing and then like someone sends me a video and he's like, "Oh, turn that off," and I'm like, "But I have to listen to it," and then it's stuck in my head because I'm not getting a video like all in one day, so I get one here and then 2 days later someone sends me another one, so I'm just like walking around the house singing it. Yeah.
Some of the people that I'm friendly with, they sent me this thing, that some jokes that they said. What do you call a fascist vegan? Lactose intolerant.
I've seen that one just today. Yeah.
There was another one they sent. What do you call a dumb omnivore? A meathead.
I mean, I like that one.
And they says this is one you'll like because your name's Tofu. Why did the tofu cross the road? To prove he wasn't chicken.
Oh, I saw that today. I don't remember where I saw it, and I actually thought I have to put that in the group, but because I'd already put one, yeah, I'm gonna put that one up. There was another one I saw today. What was it? Oh, what's the best way to keep milk fresh? And then it was keep it in the cow or something like that. Like leave it in the cow.
Sandcat saying there she calls meat eaters meatheads.
Yeah, that's it. But I loved the one I found today. I googled it and found it. Like how many vegans does it take to change a light bulb? One to put the light bulb in, the other one to check it doesn't have animal products. I was like, that's so true. Because the other day I was out. It was Michael's birthday on Thursday, and we went to the shops, and I was like walking around by myself, and I was in the candy shop, the lolly shop, and I was like looking for stuff to get in, and I found musk, and I love those little musk, mini musk, and it had like all these colors, and then it had like flavors, and so I'm walking around the shop on my phone, Googling all of the numbers, and then I was like, it's vegan. Like, it was vegan. And I sent Sandcat a SMS. I was like, I just walked around the shop, like, you know, Googling all of the numbers and going through the list to make sure it was okay. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not supposed to have it because it's got sugar, but I'm like, just a little bit. I'll like suck on it for
everything in moderation, as the saying goes. That's what I feel.
That's right. Yeah, well, I'm not eating like, you know, like I've got very good willpower when it comes to like birthday parties with the birthday cake and things like that. You know, I tried to make those. I seen this meringue recipe using the water from the chickpeas when you.
I've seen that. Yeah.
And oh my gosh! And you put vanilla, and I put stevia because it had like stevia or sugar, and then it had arrowroot powder, and it said to put it in the blender, and it said to blend it for 18 minutes. And so I put the blender on, and I walked away, and I mean, I've got a really crappy blender. It's like $18 or something. It was nothing.
Right.
And I come back, and the blender was hot, and the actual stuff, like, it didn't go like it's supposed to, like egg whites. It was like a hot chocolate. Like, and I was like, this is disgusting. And so I threw it out, and I was like, yeah, next time I'll have to whisk it by hand. So it didn't taste great, so I don't know what it would taste like in a meringue. But
well, see when you're saying that, I done a cracker last week. I've got two vegan tubs in the cupboard, right? One's got it's like beef powder for like a gravy mix, and the other one's hot chocolate. And they're both made by the same company. And I was making a date and walnut cake, and I was going to top it with the chocolate sauce. And so I pulled out the cupboard, opened the stuff up, and Laura was standing behind me letting the dogs out the back door. And she goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And I says, I'm making my date and walnut cake with this chocolate sauce. She says, "That'll taste lovely." And I says, "Why?" I says, "Why that?" And she started laughing. She says, "You're putting bloody beef gravy in it."
Imagine the look on your face if you
I didn't even realise.
Oh, chocolate.
I was wondering I'm putting all that stuff, and I was wondering why it wasn't looking right, and I'm thinking to myself, that's not looking right at all. It was bloody beef gravy.
Oh. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's a good one.
I got this lovely card yesterday for one of the people that's friendly with me on YouTube. Her name's Chrissy Livingston. She says, "This is Chrissy Livingston on YouTube. You've been such a light to me. I'm out of residential care for my eating disorder, and I'm seeing a nutritionist. I've been vegetarian since I was 10, developed anorexia at 9, but diagnosed at 12. My parents think it's contributing to my eating disorder, and my nutritionist isn't letting me go part-time vegan. And in a few years, perhaps by the time I'm 18, I'm now 15, for your reference. I was wondering how I can explain to my parents that I want to go vegan for the sake of the animals and the planet, and not to restrict Anyway, I hope you know how much you mean to me and others. I can't thank you enough for all you do, and you have recently helped me recover in many, many ways you'll never understand. For your prayers, your smiles, and your perseverance, keep shining. And then she says, I don't have much in the way of giving you gifts, but please enjoy this little Bible verse. And she sent this little wee thing here.
Oh.
It says, as for me and my house, we will all serve the Lord. And that's basically from Joshua 24:15. So that was the card there that she sent. It's all the way from Pittsburgh.
So nice.
Yeah, it's all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania she stays. Lovely.
Wow.
I get things like that all the time.
You've touched someone so much that, like, it's not just like, oh, Tommy, we love you. It's like they've taken the time to write that as well, and that's so nice. And she's 15. Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying. But like I told her, I messaged her and things like that, and I says, don't worry yourself about going vegan and that. I says, the most important thing is for your health. I says, and your parents and obviously your nutritionists, they're just concerned about your health, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Like I told her, you've got years down the line, get yourself healthy, then you can start to do things to go vegan. The most important thing is you've got to be in a place to help yourself before you can help any animals.
Yeah. And I mean, she's under her parents' care, so, you know, if she can try, but, like, she's still under... And the thing is, when she's 18, that's, like, 3 years away. If she still wants to be vegan, then you know she wants to be it for the right reasons as well.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
You know, and she'll be better at it because, you know, she'll be able to do it herself, I suppose.
Definitely.
At 15, like, at 15, I didn't care about anything like that.
No, you don't.
And so that's pretty admirable. Like, I guess that the internet wasn't like it is today. Maybe I would have been, you know, influenced.
Well, that's
like, as a 15-year-old to want to do that, it's like, you know.
Yeah, Jenny, I think that is the best advice, really, because, like I say, you've got to think as well, though I don't believe for 1 minute that she's doing it for restricting reasons and things, because she really doesn't want to do it for that, but you've got to take that into consideration as well, because your eating disorder can latch on to anything, and if you do happen to restrict any food groups in your vegan lifestyle, that's going to catch on to that and set you back.
And at 15, the support of your parents is really the only support you've got that's like close to, you know, from someone that you care about. So to have their full support would be better than like her trying to go vegan and them getting angry at her. It's just going to cause more problems. And I mean, you can still buy a lot of vegan food.
Oh,
like
definitely.
Buy vegan cheese and maybe have the vegan cheese and, you know, when you want a snack rather than in a sandwich kind of thing.
That's
so
it.
You know.
I see actually.
I think that was...
Yeah, well, she's saying she was vegetarian at 14, yeah. I would have never even have thought about that at that age, to be honest. You know?
I had a cousin that was vegetarian around that age, but it was because the animals were cute and she thought chickens were ugly, so she still ate chicken. And I was like, that's a smart idea. And yeah, she wasn't vegetarian for that long. I think it was just an attention thing, so...
See, my wife has been vegetarian all her life until she had cancer, and then she obviously get prevented from it. And the only thing she would really eat is things like a wee bit of fish and things like that, back and forward. But she was.
Yeah. Well, I was saying to Michael that about going vegan and that, and he said he would consider going maybe vegetarian, and I was like, but what about the meat? Because he loves his steak and everything. And he goes, it's the only reason why I say vegetarian is because I need milk in my coffee. And I said, if you went vegan and just had milk in your coffee, to me, that is still 100% better than what you're doing now. So, you know what I mean? If it means that you just have a bit of milk in your coffee, it's, you know, it's still not ideal, but it's a start. And I was like, oh, I might have a win.
every little bit that you can do within your lifestyle and obviously your health and things, that's what I say. Yeah,
because I think the more you encourage somebody, the better they're going to get. Like if I said to him, oh, don't even bother, you know, if you're going to have milk, don't even bother trying. He's not. But if you say, that's okay, it's still a difference, and even if you're vegetarian, it's still a step in the right direction, that's going to make someone say, oh, I want to do better.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Sandcat's saying that would be so hard, as if it's not enough to have cancer. Yeah, that's it.
I know, and then they're like, you've got to, eat meat again. Or something,
I see Lauren posted up a video yesterday. She'd obviously disappeared from YouTube for 2 days, and it turns out
or something.
Yeah,
I saw that today. I thought it was going to be a story of like her back, a few years back, like a story time. But she said it was literally this week, and I was like, oh wow. And then she's like,
I actually wondered because I was texting her back and forward, and I wasn't getting an answer and things like that, and she missed, basically that's obviously been the reason why. But like I say, I can't relate to that, because see, my parents, they were the kind of people that they said they wanted me to be who I was and follow myself, and whether that was your sexuality or anything, they would love me no matter what. And just to for an example, my dad, when I went to Australia that first time in 2000, I never actually spoke about this before, but my uncle on my dad's side, and obviously I've got my auntie on my mum's side, I was staying with them for 3 months each out the 6-month visa.
Oh, yeah.
And my uncle had actually set up a job for me and everything. I had a place to stay, everything. And my uncle actually contacted my dad and says, look, I've got his lifestyle all set up and things. I've got a job, everything for him. And I went on the phone to my dad, and my dad's like that to me. He says, son, I want you to live your life. He says, if that means you're out there, he says, don't worry about me. He says, I love you to bits. I just want to see you getting better. And I was crying on the phone and things, because I was thinking about staying, and when I look back, I didn't do it because anybody knows me, my parents mean everything to me, so I gave up that lifestyle. I come back home, but I look back on it now and I say, I don't believe that things happen for a reason, but when I look back now, there maybe was a reason in that, because if I had stayed there, I would have never met Laura. I would have never had those years left with my dad before he passed and things like that.
Exactly.
So
I was going to say the same thing. Things, I don't know, I kind of believe that, our plan is already laid out for us to some degree. Like, we can...
Yeah, in some ways,
tweak it a bit, but, like, with big things, like, not with, like, you're going to get a job and have $1 million. I think that's kind of bull. But, like, soulmates and people you're meant to be with, I think... But then again, if it was meant to be and you did decide to stay in Australia, you would have met her maybe online or, on a trip to Australia. Like, you never know. If it was meant to be, it would have maybe still happened. It's kind of all philosophical.
Well, that's even like I say about it. The way me and Laura actually met together was totally out of accident, you know what I mean? Because she phoned, like I told you before, she phoned the wrong person. She was trying to get a number and she got a wrong number, and she contacted me and we started speaking, and then we were just chatting away. Then a week later I was in a night's party with obviously my work, and she was at a party with her work in the very same place, and she said, we got talking and we realised that we'd been speaking on the phone the week before with a wrong phone call, and it just escalated from there.
How can you say that there's not a little bit of fate in there?
I know.
It has to be. It has to be.
Definitely.
But, I was going to say about coming to Australia. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Oh, about, like, your parents accepting you for who you are. It's, like, the same with my parents. I think, if I came home pregnant at 16, they would have been very disappointed, but the same thing, they still would have loved me no matter what.
That's it. Mm-hmm.
Like that. But they've been really, like, I was surprised with my family, like, every time we've got like a birthday party or something, I've always been prepared to bring my own food, but they really cater for me. Like, my sister had, like, I made tacos one night with beans instead of meat, and I always have extra, and if I always eat the extra on the night, but I was like, I'll save the extra and I'll take it tomorrow and have it like in a fajita wrap kind of thing.
That's
and
it.
I rang my mum and she's like, nah, your sister's, like, she's getting pizza, so she got you a vegetarian with no cheese. And my mum said, I'm making a vegetarian pasta as well. And I was like, oh, like, awesome. Like, that's all I need. I only need one thing. And it's kind of nice that they're willing to do that. Like, I don't expect it. I was always prepared to bring my own food.
Definitely.
So I think that's kind of a nice surprise. Like, oh, they're noting, like, they're actually,
Well, see, I've got no vegan family members in my family either, so I always wonder as well, I wonder if my dad was still here and when we just going vegan in January, I think to myself, what would he think? But I feel like he always said, I mean, I've done a lot of crazy lifestyles in the past, like if it fits your macros and the high protein diet and things like that. But I feel my dad would support me 100% as long as I was getting healthier and I was doing it for the right reasons.
If he had health problems too, he might have given it a try as well. Like,
well, see the Start Solution diet that you get for basically like a vegan lifestyle. That was kind of typically the kind of diet my dad followed for his diabetes.
Oh, that potato diet thing.
Oh, yeah, similar. I mean, you would have like mostly meat, but the actual diet that his diabetic team kind of tailored was similar to that. It had a lot of starch in it, so it was similar in a lot of ways.
I find that bizarre because I was told by my doctor, like, avoid potatoes and avoid white pasta. And it's just like, I don't understand how, like, some people are even doing, like that, the potato thing and the starch thing. And some people are even going on a high-fat, low-carb, and it's working. And it's like, what the hell?
I know.
Like, I think there's a lot of ways to kind of work on things like diabetes. It
I
just
think
depends what your body...
Definitely with diabetes, that the carbohydrates are the problem as well. The carbohydrates and the sugars.
Yeah. But it's like I don't want to sit there and look at labels my whole life.
No,
like,
definitely
that's why
not.
I think being vegan literally made it easier for me. Like, I've kind of figured it out now, what I can buy and what I can't, and I don't even bother looking anymore because it's depressing. Like, one day I wanted something, and I was like, can't have that, too much sugar, can't have that, too much fat, and I was like, this is shit, I can't eat anything. So now I'm just like, just eat it and enjoy it, and, you know.
That's it.
I'm doing the best I can. I'm not going to drink
water
for...
That's what it is, can do, being honest.
Yeah. So... I've got to figure out, my mum made these, I've got to get her to do a recipe video and I'll film it. She made these balls. We saw them on YouTube, on Facebook she saw it, and it was with butter, ghee actually, which is animal fat. And it was, I had something else, but we changed it. She used like the vegan butter, and it was like all these different nuts, and then dates, like they were all like blended, the dates, and a bit of, like cardamom or something like that, the spice.
I've actually made a video on exactly the same kind of thing.
It was like an Indian one that we saw, so I'll have to have a look.
Right.
There's probably vegan ones online already, but they came out like little balls. Oh my God, that day that she made them was my birthday. I think I had about 15 of these balls. I was like, they're high in sugar, but I don't give a shit. And everyone was saying they look like kangaroo poo. And my brother-in-law's like, that's what your poo's going to look like tomorrow. I'm like, that's what my poo looks like all the time, because I'm always eating nuts in something. But
I'm exactly the same.
Nice. Have you seen that Bosch Facebook page?
I haven't seen that, no.
I'll have to look that up. There's so much, like, a lot of recipes I see, and I'm like, that's easy to make vegan. Like,
there's so many things you can veganise in a lot of different ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Jenny just said about sweet potatoes. Yeah.
Lower GI, yeah.
Yeah, my mum does that, like, for, like, when we go over for dinner, and she makes, like, for me and my dad, like, she made, like, a shepherd's pie. Do you have shepherd's pies in the UK?
Yeah, shepherd's pie, cottage pie.
Yeah, and, like, for me, this was I think it was before I was vegan. She did it with she did one for me with TVP not long ago, that's right. And then she did the sweet potato on top, so it was totally not a shepherd's pie, but it was like, it looked like it, and I was like, oh, this is so good.
I don't know if you've seen my recipe for it. I've got a video recipe on the shepherd's cottage pie that I done that was vegan.
Oh, how long ago was that?
That was only about a month ago.
Oh, really? I'll have to have a look. I probably saw it and forgot.
I'm trying to see if I've got it.
I've got to make a playlist and put, like, like your videos and Rachel's and Ian's and all that, because I watch them and I never think about them again. Like, I think that's cool. So I've really got to put them in a playlist and do it. Like, because I was telling Michael about the pastas. She did a couple of pastas once. The one-pot pastas, and one of them was like creamy. She did it with cashew and soy milk. Baby. Oh, I was like, that looks so good. Oh, you're sending me an attachment.
I've got one. Wait, no, send it. Get the other one here.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that was the balls one that I done in. That's the cottage pie.
Oh, cool. Vegetable stock cubes, mushrooms. Oh, nice. What's the, 1 tin petits pois or whatever? That's baby potatoes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that, I think.
It's an easy, quick kind of way of doing it, obviously, but...
Yeah. I've tried one with lentils in place of mince. One of my non-vegan friends even liked it.
Yeah, I've seen that before. That's another great way of doing it.
Yeah, I always make something and I'm like, eat it. Like, eat it, just try it. So, like, with my tacos, he says it's all right, but it's not as good as the meat. And I'm like, as long as it's all right, because honestly, like, when I first went vegan, everything tasted disgusting to me. But the longer the meat is out of your system, the more you start to say, oh, that's all right, I like it. And your taste buds change.
That's it.
So, like, oh my God, these tacos that I make with the beans, I swear I love it. Oh, it's so good.
I love the picture when I seen it. I was like, that looks lovely.
Yeah, I just cut up the onions and, like, put a can of beans in and was like, cook. Oh, is that all I put? Yeah. And then, you know how you can get that spice mix at the shop with what you put on the tacos? That's all I did. I put that in a bit of water. And then at the end, I just put, like, 3 tablespoons of couscous to thicken it because, there's oh my gosh. I said to Michael, I could just have this over rice, like Hong Kong, but vegan version,
That's it. I had to laugh yesterday. Yeah. Laura came in and she says to me, have you seen Jessica's video? And I'm like, I says, no, I haven't seen it. And she's like, something's must have happened. She says, she's not vegan anymore. And I went, I says, Laura, this is going to be a wind up here. And then so I played it and then I says, see, I told you, Laura.
I feel so, I had to say sorry to her. She's like, oh no! I thought it would catch people's eye a bit, so.
She was totally.
Oh, that's funny. We do have salsas, Jenny, but I haven't actually seen one. But Michael, he actually works for the company that makes they produce uniforms and everything, and they do salsa and boost juice. It's like a Mexican place, salsa is, and it's all fresh. I'd love to try it though.
I was actually speaking to one of my mum's friends yesterday, and she's never even disclosed this to me before, but she was talking. I posted, obviously, remember on Facebook, I posted about my mum's birthday. She commented below and she sent me a private message and she says to me, oh, when your mum knew she was dying, she was really worried about you because she worried about your mental health and how you would cope in that. But my mum never even spoke about dying up until, my papa obviously died a month before her, and after the month after he died, she basically said she would never admit to be dying, but she says, that's it, I'm never going to last longer. But when I look back on it now, she obviously kind of thought that I would maybe become ill because of it, and it's made me wonder if she knew that this would...
the one friend that she opened up to, because they do say that when people are about to die, they can kind of they kind of know what's happening. They have that, they're kind of sitting between both worlds. Or they know what's coming. They have that.
Well, it's like I say, in the hospital, that my mum was in there for about a month before she passed. Obviously, she was in and out of consciousness. It was basically like a coma with her cancer and things. And she woke up, and obviously my mum passed on the 10th of November, and my dad's birthday was the 8th of November. For about 3 or 4 weeks, she was in and out of consciousness. She woke up on the 7th, And the nurses said, oh, she looks as if she's getting better. And she was determined, with every ounce of strength she had, she says to me, go down to the wee shop at the hospital, she says, and get me a card for your dad's birthday. And she could hardly write, but she was determined to write it out. She done that. Yeah. And then she was in and out of consciousness again. And the last thing she said to me before she died was, don't you worry about anything, son, she says. And when I was younger, she always used to rub my head before I went to school. She says, do you remember I used to do this before you went to school? She says, don't you worry, whatever happens, you'll still get your Christmas. And that was the thing that stuck in my head.
Wow. I remember. So it's like she waited till after his birthday, and so it was long enough before Christmas so that you could heal in time, kind of thing.
And the other thing as well, she always said that she didn't want to pass away in the house and that I would never see her passing. And I had been in that hospital I was in that hospital for 4 weeks and in and out that room, and then I fell asleep in the wee room next to the room that she was in, and I got woke up by my auntie come through, and she says, son, I've got your mum's passed away, and I never seen it. And that was one thing I ever blamed myself for, because I never got a chance to say goodbye. But when I look back on it, that was obviously her getting her wish. She waited until I wasn't there and went. And the same thing with my dad, he done the very same thing as well.
Yeah, it's funny, like I guess you only know when you're there. What Jenny just said's interesting too. Her dad was calling out to a baby that her parents had lost 29 years before.
Yeah.
And my grandmother was like talking to, like, when she was like, you know, sick and it was like a few days, she used to like laugh and say things in Maltese like to stop it, and they're like, what are you talking about? And she said, like, her husband, it was her ex-husband, like, they separated, but they're still, like, best friends. And she said, oh, he's being cheeky, like, you know, he's playing jokes and he's being a little devil. And it's like, that's when we knew, like, it was going to happen, because, like, she was already halfway there, you know. They were already having fun together and being, you know, being cheeky and everything. So, yeah, it's crazy. Like, my other grandfather, he was... the night before, he was saying to my grandmother, oh, you need to clip my toenails, you need to brush my hair. And he wanted her to, like, clean everything. She was like, what? Why are you so worried about it? He goes, I have to be clean. He wanted to be, like, you know, all kind of manicured and trim and clean. And because it's like he knew, like, he was going to God kind of thing, and he wanted to be ready. It's just like, it's crazy. Like, how do they know? And why don't they tell us? Like, why don't they say I'm going to die? But it's like, I suppose they're worried about you, because it's like my mum always said, it's not the person that passes, it's the people they leave behind. Yeah, that's true. So they don't want you to know, I guess. Another
thing that I was kind of thinking about as well, see, when it's never really struck me, but my mum's the way she I always wonder if she had she didn't have an eating disorder, but she had a kind of bad relationship with food at times, because she would make me and my dad obviously a lot of food. She wouldn't eat herself, and then at night, through the night, she would get up and she'd be eating lots through the night. She had a kind of funny relationship with food. I always wonder. Yeah. It never struck me at the time, but when I look back now, it kind of I don't know.
And, you know, it was probably there and she probably didn't even know what it was. And, you know, when you live with it for so long, like my grandmother that I was saying was talking to my grandfather. My mum said that they'd always had a feeling about it. Like if she went to the bathroom, she would be in there for half an hour because she'd cover the toilet with that much toilet paper, and she would have everything in like little separate bags in her handbag. And all stuff like checking the doorknob, and she wouldn't eat anything unless it came out of a can because she was scared someone would have touched it. And like she lived her whole life like that. But when she was sick and about to die, the nursing home she was in was one of the worst. So it was so dirty, and I really wanted to go and see her, but that was when my OCD was really bad. And my mum said that Jezzika wants to see you, but she can't. And she goes, that's okay. She's got what I've got. Like that was the first time she addressed it, like, and she knew why I couldn't go, and I felt so bad. And my mum's like, you know, after she passed, I was like, I should have gone. Like that's when you regret it. And she said, but she knew you would if you could, and like everyone could understand she would. And it's like she'd never actually said anything until then. So it's like she knew she had it all that time. But because you live so much of your life that, you know, it just becomes part of life.
That's
You know
it.
what I mean?
Jenny's saying a little thing there. One of the things Dad kept saying, Campbell, wait, mate, Daddy will be with you soon. It would have been Campbell's birthday exactly a week before my dad died.
Oh, wow. Yes.
See, me and my mum had we had a great relationship. See, that's what I was telling you about her, the way she ate and things like that. She'd get up during the night and she would make like a big feast, pizzas, and we used to do a thing that a lot of people will think this is disgusting, but this is something we used to do a lot. We used to get bread, smother it in butter, and get hundreds of sugar, and pour the sugar over the bread and the butter, and have pieces in butter and sugar. It used to be disgusting, but we loved it.
But yeah, you loved it at the time. Yeah. And you just
we used to make
it together.
Yeah, we used to make things like we used to make our own potato crisps. We'd cut the potatoes and we'd put them into the deep fat fryer and put like salt and vinegar on them, or paprika, cheese and onion, things like that. And basically, Saturday night was our kind of night, because obviously my dad used to go out. He used to go out for a drink on a Saturday night. My mum wasn't into that at all. So basically, Saturday night would be me and my mum's night kind of thing. And to tell you a great wee story, this will crack you up a beauty. Like I say, my dad used to go out every Saturday night, and my mum used to be blonde haired when she was younger, right? But when obviously she dyed her hair quite a lot off through the years, she was kind of brown haired at this point. So I used to dye my mum's hair for her, because this is how I learned to dye hair, because I can do Laura's now. So this night my mum says, you know something, I fancy a change. She says, I'm going to go back to blonde. She says, will you help me do it? I went, I'll do that, no problem at all. So we dyed her hair blonde. My dad had been out for a good drink this night, obviously with the rest of his brothers. So my mum went to bed. I heard my dad coming in, must have been about 2 o'clock in the morning. I heard the door shut, and so I went down and I let him in, locked the front door. He went to bed. So must have been about 10 o'clock in the morning, because the Sunday morning we used to have a good lie-in. And all I heard was, pardon the words here, but all I heard was my dad shouting, fuck, where am I? And he was running about the room. I come running out the room, and I says, Dad, what are you talking about? And he looked at me and he says, he said, a shocked look in his face. He says, there's a blonde-haired woman in my bed. He says, so he'd woke up, because obviously he'd went out at night and my mum was brown-haired. He woke up and all he's seen was this blonde-haired woman at the side of the bed. He thought he was in somebody else's bed. He's running a bit like,
oh God.
But like my mum says, she says,
I'm going to get killed.
Yeah, but like my mum says, she says, that's a good thing, because at least I know he's not going to cheat. He was worried that he was in a woman's bed. But it was as funny as it.
So funny.
Unbelievable. I totally thought he was to another woman or something.
Oh, that's good to trick him.
Unbelievable, so it was.
Hi Venus too. Venus came in a few minutes ago.
Hi Venus, nice to see you as well.
The fly trap. That's cute. That's funny.
It's the things that happen when you remember.
I know all those crazy memories, and that's the stuff that like you think about, it just makes you laugh again, and you know, it's good memories.
Definitely.
Like getting up in the middle of the night and eating all the bread and with the butter and that, like that's cute. It's like it was your night to be you know.
I think I've basically got a lot of the same kind of nature as my mum. She was a kind of office shy person, and see, even when she was younger, she would hate going into shops and asking for things, and I was the exact same. But now I've basically got a lot better. I don't know what it is, but I've basically took on a lot of my dad's kind of temperament as I've got older, because people might not believe this, but I get a fly off the handle sometimes, and I've got this kind of nature in my dad that sometimes I speak my mind and damn the consequences at times, which can be a good thing and a bad thing.
That's funny. Yeah, like there's so many annoying things that my dad does, and then I catch myself doing them. Like I used to hate when he did them when I was younger. And like, yeah, I do them, and I said to Michael, "Oh, like I'm not my dad's daughter. Like you can't half tell. Like I do all the annoying things he does, which used to annoy me. So if we ever have kids, I'll annoy the hell out of them too. I'm sure."
Well, I even remember, it's hard to believe, but way back when I was younger, me and my dad used to fight like cat and dog. All these stupid things as well too, but he loved me and I loved him, but we would fight over the stupidest things in the house, and I think that's why my mum always worried that when she died, she always said, "Oh, make sure you and your dad look after each other." That's what always she said. But I found now that after my dad died, me and my dad just came absolutely close as anything. But like I say, we always loved each other, but we fought about the stupidest things, you know what I mean?
And sometimes when you're similar, you do clash as well. Like if you're both stubborn, you know, or whatever it is.
We definitely are in that. I definitely agree with that.
I'm stubborn as all hell.
Sandcat says she's much like her dad.
Like your dad. And
Jenny says like... I love that song.
Oh, she gets it from her dad. It drives her husband crazy. The poor men. Yeah, I drive Michael nuts. Like, I get into bed, and I don't just get into bed. I'm like, and I make all these noises, and he's like, just shut up. And I remember when I was younger, I had the room next door to my parents, and he would do that every night. And my mum would be like, "Oh, bloody shut up and go to sleep." And I'm like, shit, I'm doing that now. And it would annoy me because I'm trying to sleep and I just hear, trying to get comfortable. You can't do anything quietly. I am my father's daughter. Exactly. That's exactly what I say.
I'm exactly the same. A lot of people actually say I look like my mum. I do look like my mum, but a lot of people are saying as I've got older, I look a lot like my dad now as well. So it's kind of, I don't know, I've kind of changed about a bit.
Yeah, I suppose some features come out more maybe, like as you get older, I don't know. People always say like I look exactly like my mum, like they see my mum and was Belinda Davies, like she was looking on my mum's Instagram because she has the sock monkeys and Belinda loves them, and she's looking through and she's like, "Oh my God," she's like, "You look exactly like your mum." And I was like, "Oh, thanks." Yeah, people say that all the time.
Sandcat says this is a Leo lively stream. That's what it should be, definitely.
Lively. Nah. No. Lovely. Oh, she meant lovely. Oh, well, fine then. It is nice. I look more like my mum as I got older, but like my dad as a kid. That's kind of weird, like that.
Well, I'm exactly the same. Yeah, that's what I was just saying there. I look like my mum as I was younger, but as I've got older, I look a lot like my dad.
Yeah.
I think it's because you do forget that basically you take half the genetics for your mum, you take half the genetics for your dad, you know what I mean? So you're going to have a lot of traits for both, aren't you, in some ways?
Yeah. And it's all about the way you do things as well, like the way you style your hair or whatever, the mannerisms and stuff like that kind of make you look more like a particular person, you know.
Well, if I take it off my mum's side of the family, I'll be bald in no time because my papa was bald, my uncles were all bald and young, so I'm starting.
You don't look like. You don't look like you're getting anything, or are you?
I have got baldy patches, but to say that as well, that can be obviously your eating disorder and that as well, so I don't know if that's to do with my mum's side of the family or that's the eating disorder as well, so that could be a bit of both.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know, like Michael's got like a little one on the back, but I reckon his hairline's going, like his forehead's getting bigger, and he's like, no, that's just the way it is. And I'm like, no, man, no, it's getting bigger. He doesn't want to believe it.
Jenny's saying, even though my parents separated 7, I lived with my mum till I was 22.
Like so you've got like his traits and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it.
It's good if you get along with your parents. I know, like, one of my friends said, like, her husband was abusive and stuff like that, and her son saw it, her oldest son, and now he's looking like the father every day, and he looks in the mirror and he's like, I don't want to look like Dad. I suppose that would be hard. And I'm like, he could always change his appearance. I'm like, he could colour his hair, he can, you know, whatever, like, but at the end of the day, you know, there's really not much you can do. So it's hard when you look like someone that you don't want to look like, I suppose.
That's why I think...
Also like his dad.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's why I think Lauren, like I say, she's got a lot of great points which she mentions, but like I say, cherish your parents every day, because when you're younger you don't realise that you'll not have them forever, and you're lucky to have them, you know what I mean? So that's one thing.
Yeah, definitely. That's why, like, now, I mean, my dad had the operation on his heart, and we were told shortly after that it wasn't, like, properly successful, that he, you know, he could go any time. And I still didn't do anything, right, until, like, a few years ago when I finally did something. And now it's like, I think, like, just, like, think of all, I mean, I'm making up for it, but it's like, man, that's like 10, you know, easily 10, 15 years that I'd lost, you know, maybe 12 years that I was, like, hating my father. And it's like, I'll never get those back. And it's like, you know, that's why now I'm like, that's why that video about my dad was, like, trying to tell people, like,
I know.
even though you hate them, like, you only get one, and you can try to find a middle ground, at least mutual respect. And with my dad, it was never really, like, hating him. It was the fact that, like, he was the man in the house, and that's what triggered my OCD.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It was building the trust. That's where we had to start again. Like, so I told him, like, I do eventually want to fix the relationship, but I need to build trust with you. So we started just talking, and then one day it just came naturally to give him a kiss and a hug, and now it's like nothing. So, yeah, I think it's, you know, it's important because, you know, even if your parents aren't sick, you just don't know. I mean, you know, I had an aunt that was, one day she was fine, and the next day, you know, she was in hospital, and then she had the kind of cancer that thrives on oxygen. So once they cut her open to whatever they were doing, I don't know what they did, but yeah, this cancer just spread, and she was in a coma, and they had to pull the thing. And it's like, you don't know. Like, she had cancer all this time, and we didn't even know.
I know, that's why I disagree. See, with all these vegans that come on and they say that meat eating and everything causes cancer and that, yeah, maybe in some degrees it does, but most of these things are genetic, and you're predisposed to them in a lot of cases. No matter what lifestyle you take on, if you're going to get cancer, you're going to get cancer no matter what, and being vegan doesn't cure all these illnesses. It's rubbish, I mean.
Exactly. I mean, you could be a vegan, but what about all the environmental things? Like, if you're in a highly polluted area, or, you know, you work in a nightclub as a security guard, back when it was legal to smoke in there. I mean, you know, there was one guy here, I can't remember, I think he ran a telephone company. Maybe the girls will remember, Crazy John's. He ran this, like, telephone company.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, he used to go for a jog every morning, and he was, like, 45, and, like, if you saw him, he was fit. He had, like, you know, the body, like, he was all buff and everything. One day he went for a run and he had a heart attack and he died.
Well, look at
like, this guy
people like Prince and things like that, Linda McCartney, they're all big vegans and they had lots of money and things like that. They still went, didn't they?
I mean, do what you can, I suppose, to make it better, but it's not just what you eat that causes cancer.
No.
But I was talking to my sister the other day, because when I was getting the tacos, I was making sure everything was vegan, right? And I found one ingredient that I didn't know what it was, and I looked it up online, and there was butane on the tacos to make it stay fresher.
Right.
Like butane gas or whatever. And I was like, shit, like, that's really bad. So we ended up getting another brand. But I was telling my sister and her and, like, her neighbour, they said, that's why we've got so many allergies. Like, my sister could eat anything when she was younger. Now she's gluten intolerant.
Yeah.
Like they said, it's because of all the chemicals and shit that they put in our food now.
I know, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
That I think that's what, you know, like, why kids have a lot of allergies as well, like, you know, to eggs and stuff like that, or to wheat, because they've really just, like, there's only two types of wheat now or something like that, whereas years ago there was so many.
That's
so we just don't have options, and then they're putting crap in our food like butane. Why the heck would you put that in someone's, like, in food? Only one type of food, fruit. What about vegetables?
I wouldn't live on a diet just of fruit though. I think that's well nutritionally incomplete. I mean, at the end of the day, you need protein, fats, and carbs.
And what about iron? Does fruit have like much iron?
No particularly, no.
About iron. Yeah.
Other than fruit causes
dates and tons of oh yeah, I suppose dates too. Yeah. I've actually got to get. I got my blood tested. I'm checking to see if I'm low in iron. Because
that's one thing that Laura suffers with a lot. Obviously, is the iron problem, but add any one type of fruit till you get to 3 meals. I don't feel that's I mean, I know a lot of people can do that kind of diet, but I just feel that it's not a lifestyle I could do, because at the end of the day, for somebody with an eating disorder or anything, that's probably the worst thing you could do. I mean, I feel it's far too restrictive, and you want to get a good relationship with all foods, and I feel for anybody, I feel it's okay maybe doing that in certain climates and that, maybe a couple of days a week, but for everybody to do it 7 days a week, I just feel, I just don't feel that's...
Yeah, like I was really inspired by Fully Raw Christina, like what she ate, and I tried it for a while before I even went vegan. Like I kind of wanted to, and I thought, I can go fully raw. I think I pushed myself too much too quickly, you know what I mean, and I failed pretty quickly. I mean, it's something that maybe you could work towards in the future, like maybe have one raw day or something, so kind of, you know, I guess, like for someone like me without an eating disorder. Yeah. Symptoms equals self-healing. Symptoms of what? I love how Jonas comes into every chat and he's just like, change the subject, eat raw, bitches. Like, yeah, he does that all the time. Natural hygiene, no matter what.
Yeah,
actually watch this document. Oh, what's that?
Disease exists unified. Well, yeah, but like I say, it's diseases can be a lot of genetic issues as well with it. I mean, like I say, cancer and things like that. I know you'll probably say that it's caused by meat eating, and in some ways it does, like I just said. But like in my mum's side of the family, cancer runs right through the family, and it's genetic. It's predisposed, and basically the females in my mum's side were told that they had to have a mastectomy basically to stop that happening. So, like I say, diet, lifestyle, yes, it can be correlated, but it's not the be all and end all, and it's not the only reason why that can happen.
Yeah, like we said before, environmental issues, and you know,
definitely,
like there's no food alone won't stop. You know, like the whole Erin Brockovich story about the people that were drinking the bad water or whatever it was, you know. I mean, they could have all been vegans and eating fully raw, and sometimes you just, you know. Like apparently there's arsenic in water. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, no.
I watched a video. I'll have to find it in my history and show you, but they said like it occurs naturally in everything, like it's in our fruit in very small doses, but there's actually some places that because it, like whatever state they're in, because it travels so far through the pipes that, you know, through the sun and everything, it reduces the water content but concentrates the arsenic content, so it's like not even safe to drink. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know all this. So yeah, I'll have to find it. I was watching, I think it was a mukbang I was watching actually. And they just brought it up. They were talking about it and I was like, oh my God.
Well, I remember in Scotland, it must have been about 4 or 5 years ago, we had a problem that was lead that was in the water, and it was basically causing lead poisoning and things like that. So that's in some ways similar.
Yeah, you've got to wonder, like, I mean, even if you grow your own fruit and vegetables, you don't know what's in it because of, like, do you know what's in the potting mix and stuff like that? And everything like, leaks into your food. It's kind of like, and I guess there's, you know, if you're going to look at it like that, you won't eat anything.
No.
Like people say, oh, like, you know, they do this at this restaurant or whatever. And it's like, you can't think like that because you're not going to, you know, you're going to be like, oh, you can't even drink water, maybe rainwater, but that's probably got something in it too. Like,
that's it.
Yeah.
But I've got my holiday plans all booked for Australia for next year. Definitely. I phoned up the woman the other day and she's got my deal set out and things like that for my hotel and everything. So I'll be coming to visit you next year. That's a definite.
Yeah, I've got to ask and see what places are around that aren't much, because I haven't travelled like really within, you know, like I haven't stayed anywhere, but yeah, I recommended to one person this place that was like really nice and big, and he said it was actually pretty shit staying there. Like, it looks nice on the outside, but he said the service was horrible. So I was like, okay, I won't tell Tommy about that one. But
I'm really looking forward to it. See, when I set my mind on something, I'm one of these people that's what my wife always says. She says, see, when you set your mind on something, she says, you always go for it. She says, you do my head in with that. She says, because once I set my mind on something, I just go at it no matter what.
You do it, yeah. So how long does it take you to save? Because, like, we can't save for anything like that. Like, we struggle.
See,
we can't even save a couple of $100.
The way I'm going to, I've worked out, the travel agent says basically they're going to take like £150 deposit up front, so that's like £100 for your flight and then £50 for a hotel or everything, if you want to book the hotel, obviously. And the way it'll work out is basically like 150 each month if I was to do it, like for like, say, September, October next year. So it works out about 1,700, I think she said, was it kind of all in.
So how much is the plane trip?
1,099.
$4.99.
1,099.
Oh, 1,000 just for one person.
Yep.
Oh my god. See, that's the killer, because like accommodation stuff, it's nowhere near. It's, you know, you might be paying like
$600
at a really good place
for the week kind of thing.
Yeah. That's crazy. Wow.
I mean, I remember a way back when 2000 when I first went to Australia, it was £500 for a return flight, so it's like double the price now, so it shows you how much it's kind of escalated over the years.
Yeah. I know, like, to travel to America, it's like really expensive from here because it's so far, but Europe and that as well. Like, I've always wanted to go to Malta, but it's like, I think it's like $2,500. It's like, jeez.
It's crazy, but this...
2 plane tickets, we can buy a car almost, like a second-hand car.
Well, the way this one works for me, she said that I travel from Glasgow to London, and then from London to Hong Kong, and I get like a day and a half stopover in Hong Kong, but I'll just need to basically kind of walk about and go back to the airport, because I've got nowhere to stay in between that 1.5 days, so I'll maybe just...
Yeah.
And then obviously for there to Sydney, and then for, I think it's Sydney to Melbourne or something for there.
Yeah. And how long are you going to stay?
Roughly just about a week nearly.
A week. Oh, okay. No, because I was going to say, if you're going to stay longer, like, because my parents have this, I don't know if it would be busy around that time of year, but they have a timeshare.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes they pay, I don't know how much they pay a year to go, but like when I went to Rye, because it was in like off-peak season, they got we got like a villa, like it was two bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and it was like, I think it was $300 for the whole week, and everything was included, like not food, but
that's
like
good.
You got all your linen and everything, and I was like, if you were staying for a bit longer, like you could almost say, oh, well, let's head over to the beach, and you know, and it's actually not that far. I think it took us an hour and a half to get there.
That's great.
Not that far from the city.
I definitely would stay longer, but obviously I've got Laura and things like that as well now, so that's...
Yeah, what do you do with the dogs when you go?
Well, Laura will be looking after them just the same kind of thing, and obviously my friend William and Janet and obviously Lizzie Ann, who were good friends as well, they're coming over and they're going to help Laura with it kind of thing.
Oh, so Laura wouldn't be coming?
No, Laura's not allowed to travel because of her morphine and things like that, because it's controlled drugs.
Oh, I didn't realise.
No, so basically
Oh.
she's only allowed to... So what's going to actually happen, Laura's allowed to travel within the UK because of her dogs. So what's going to happen is I'm paying for a trip down to my cousin Eileen, who stays in Wolverhampton. So Laura's going to go down there for 2 weeks to stay with her before I go away. So that's how we're going to work it. So basically she'll be getting a holiday and I'll be looking after the dogs, and then when she comes back I'll get away. But she's going for 2 weeks, I'm going for a week.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's like, 'cause my dad can't travel either. I didn't realise that Laura couldn't travel. It's kind of like you go on this big trip, and I mean it's awesome, but you kind of, if she was here, it would be even better. You know.
That's yeah, but I say she can't travel
the
because
money. It's half price because it's only one person. But
I know.
Still. Yeah. Has she been here before ever?
No, she's never been here. The only place she's ever been is Florida.
Oh, wow. Well, you'll have to get her lots of souvenirs and
Definitely,
things like that. Yeah. Well, have to find like a... Have you been to like the wildlife parks and stuff where you can actually hold a koala and things?
I was at Australia Zoo. I was at that when I was at Brisbane. That's the only one I went to. I held the koala, and I'll tell you a wee story about this. You hold the koala, and basically they take your photo of it at Australia Zoo.
Yeah.
And it was cuddling into me, and I looked down and it's shut all down my trousers and everything. I was absolutely covered from head to toe. It just like, it must have been eating a hell of a lot, and it just absolutely, it was an explosion. All down my legs and everything.
That's funny. I've never actually held one, but I've seen some of the wildlife parks, like, you know, you can hold them. But yeah, that's funny. I would probably scream if that happened to me. I've never
When I was over Steve Irwin was still alive, and he did his live crocodile show where he was wrestling with the crocodile. So I went to that as well. It was amazing.
Yeah, I've never been. I would like to go there and see what it's like. I wish I was there when, you know.
That'd be something we could definitely do. I mean, that'd be a great idea, actually. Yeah,
I've never actually, like, I've only ever been to South Australia and Sydney. I've never been in any other state. So you've been to Queensland, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been
That's
to
where your family
Queensland.
is. Yeah.
Obviously, Brisbane, the Gold Coast, Surfers Paradise. I've done that as well. I went to Warner Bros. Movie World, which is in the Gold Coast as well. It was amazing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, there's a lot of like wildlife. I mean, here, like just behind our house, there's a big park, and I swear it's like a wildlife park. Like it's free, but like the kangaroos, they just come right up to you, and they come up and they stay a distance, but then they just stand there. Like they get up high and they're just like. And they just stare at you like, what the hell are you doing here? And I've taken photos like of them and stuff. But like if you go to walk near them, they'll either come at you or they'll run off. So I don't really annoy them. But
Actually, the park that I went to, they actually had a white kangaroo. They said they're very, very rare in Australia. Seemingly they had a few white kangaroos. I'll need to show you the picture of
one.
Yeah, I think I've still got it on my phone. I've actually got it for the trip. It was amazing. They said they were very, very rare. They were dying out, and they were the only kind of zoo that actually had any left, seemingly.
Oh, cool. And feed the kangaroos and stuff. That'd be cool, Sandcat, to like feed the kangaroos. I'd be a bit scared, but it'll be cool. We went somewhere where they had like emus running free, and like you go up to the emus, but they're like running up to you like they want to kill you. And we were like, okay, maybe not. We'll just look from afar. Because like, emus are angry little things sometimes. They're just wandering around. That's cool.
Can't even find it now. I'll need to look it up. But it was amazing. Like I said, there was white kangaroos. It was great.
Yeah. I went to a place like that. Emus ask. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually was... So there you go.
Oh, no, I was just going to say there's a place here called Phillip Island, Sandcat might have been, and you can watch as the penguins come in every night. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No, I've never seen that.
at this certain time they come in after they've been like foraging and whatever, and they go right up the hill. That's really cool. Penguins. Yeah, my dad calls them penguins. Yeah, what were you going to say?
The emos, when we were talking about the emos, when I was at that park, I had an ice cream cone. I was walking past, and the emo stuck its head straight through the fence and just, took my arm off. And the park ranger, she's like, she says, yeah, you've got to watch. She says, if you get real near the fence, and she says, they can virtually take your arm off. And she says, you've got to be very, very careful.
Wow. Well, my mum and dad were on a holiday, and this guy was feeding the pelicans, and he put his hand down, and he had no more food left, but the pelican just went on over his hand. And the next day he was telling my parents, be careful, and he showed my mum. I mean, I was laughing when she was telling me because it's funny and it's bad, but his whole arm, his whole hand was bruised, and I was like, oh my God. They're like, give me food. Oh, they can, yeah. If they're hungry, they'll just come and get it, man.
It's amazing. So, well, I better get ready and get ready for church and things like that again.
Okay.
Busy day again.
Have fun.
You as well. It was lovely speaking to you and everybody else as well. It really was. And
yeah, it was good. I can't wait for Friday. I want to see how many people want to join in.
Hopefully as many as possible, all the better. Right, sending you all my love as always.
You too. Bye.
Speak to you soon, Jezzika. So guys, thanks very much again. Absolutely lovely to have you on. I hope you have liked this chat. It's been brilliant. Speaking away, great, good, positive, laughing, things like that. Send you all my love, Sanka, it's Marissa as well. Everybody else that's on the chat, send you all my love, guys, and speak to you all soon, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And remember, binge on life, plus negativity and starve out if you